Hi everybody, it's Krishana. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, thank you for clicking on the video. I am a wife, mom of two, a toddler and a newborn. And I recently had a home birth and I'm officially 1 month postpartum. And so this video is going to be all about how I'm like easing back into my workout exercise journey after having another baby. Also, before we get too far into this video, just because I did a little playback and heard it, you can literally hear my toddler screaming throughout this entire video. So maybe I'll be able to get some of that noise out. Maybe I will not. If I'm not, so sorry. That will just be a part of this video. So again, back to the video. So, I'm officially a little over 1 month after having the baby. So I kind of feel really good about like easing myself back into working out. And I would say not really working out, like stretching as well as like yoga and maybe walking. And I've been trying to be really like intentional about doing this slow and not overexerting myself and thinking that I'm going to snap back because I really hate snapback culture. I think that it's just very divisive and creates a lot of pressure for women to conform their bodies to these unrealistic standards. And so I'm trying to be really intentional and slow and give my body a lot of grace. And because I had a home birth, it's just really important for me to honor that full process. So I've been doing the 40 days of being in the house and really like finding time to bond with my baby. And so aside from us going to the pediatrician and having the baby's appointments, I've been home. I've basically been either in our bedroom. Sometimes I go outside on the back porch to get a little bit of sun, but for the most part, I'm there. And so I've really been trying to like listen to my body and take things slow, even though I've been feeling some like, you know, a little achy and ready to stretch my body out. I've been trying to go super, super slow. So the first thing that I started doing was really some like really gentle yoga poses. And I will say, even in doing those, I was feeling great in the moment. But the longer I was doing them, I was starting to like notice that even though my bleeding had like completely subsided and was like done, at least I thought it was done. I noticed that when I would start doing some of the yoga poses, that I would experience a little bit of light spotting and like very, very light pink or like, like a darker brown, very minimal, not even enough to be a few droplets on a liner or when you wipe, but I didn't notice it, right? And so I wanted to make sure that I wasn't pushing my body too hard, even when I thought I was being gentle. So those first like 2, 3 weeks were rough because I was experiencing, I guess, like a little bit of aching and like my body just needing to feel like it needed to stretch out. And even when I was doing things that I thought were gentle, it wasn't gentle enough. So that bleeding, spotting has still occurred lightly over the last few days, and I haven't really been doing much. And so I think that that's just like where my body is right now, which is fine. I think that it's maybe not super tied to me moving around and being a little bit more active, but I kind of am getting antsy. Like I really don't want to wait too much longer, and I'm not really concerned about like weight loss or anything like that. Those aren't really my concerns, but there are things that I want to be able to do with my body, but take my time doing them. So um, I've been going out on my back porch and getting some sun and really just like finding the opportunity to do some meditation and breathing exercises, as well as some stretching exercises, and then a little bit of light yoga. And when I say light yoga, I mean like downward dog, child's pose, like sun salutations, like some light yoga to just allow me to stretch myself out. And then the other thing is I've been using the birth ball. So I bought that birth ball initially to prep my body for labor as well as to use in labor during the contractions, and it was wonderful for that. But I thought those stretches that I did for during pregnancy are still good for postpartum as well. And I also recorded and filmed a video all about my stretches that I'm doing. So I'll link that somewhere on the screen. And so I've been doing those as well. And so, just really trying to like ease my body in. And so, my postpartum goals. So right now it is August. It's like mid-August. And so, I'm really not planning on going like really, really hard back in the gym or exercising until January, most likely. You know, I really want to give my body an opportunity to heal, but I know that there's like a few things I need to do to like help the healing process. So one, you know, light yoga. I'm gonna find a mommy and me yoga class to take with my newborn. It'll give me opportunity to get out of the house. I did mommy and me yoga with my firstborn as well, and I really enjoyed it. It also gives you an opportunity to like meet some other moms and kind of be in community. And I'm hoping that I'm able to find a mom and me yoga place that's close to me that also has, you know, some black moms, some people that I'm like able to be in community with and maybe like create some long-term relationships and friendships with also too, because I'm new to the state. And so since we moved during the pandemic, it's been hard, like really, really hard to meet people and, you know, make those friendship bonds, especially in the 30s. Also, excuse me, I am hot. And I don't know if anybody knows, but postpartum and all the hormones, like you need to drink water. So, okay. Um, so I'm hoping that the Mommy and Me class helps. And so I found one that's not too far from me that meets once a week. So I'm looking forward to in the next maybe few weeks, start joining their sessions and really just like easing my body. And also it gives me an opportunity to get out of the house, which as I explained, haven't really done much of. And, you know, also move my body and enjoy myself. The next thing is going to be really trying to like work on my like core and back. Having a baby just puts a lot of strain on your core and your back, and it was something that I had a lot of like back pain in my very first pregnancy. I mean, I didn't experience that in my current um, I didn't experience that in postpartum currently, but I'm trying to make sure that I prevent any issues. And so most people know that like your core is only as strong as your back, and your back is only as strong as your core. So those two have to work in tandem together. And so I'm thinking that Pilates might be a good way to like really restructure and regain those muscles. And even before I go to some of those classes, I've been looking into some exercises and some like exercises recommended by pelvic floor specialists to really help to like secure and heal your pelvic floor, your pelvis, your core before you really start like moving into an exercise routine. And that's really important for me because I actually experienced prolapse both times, and this time was a little bit more severe. So if anybody doesn't know what prolapse is when like your some of your organs, so either sometimes it's your uterus, sometimes it's your rectum, and sometimes it's your bladder. One of those organs starts to like protrude down into your vaginal canal. So basically, you'll see like a little something hanging out. And so I experienced a very, very like minor prolapse last time. I think it was my OBGYN told me that it was more of like a one. But this time I noticed that like I had a more severe prolapse and it has since gone back up. But once you've had a prolapse, you can be asymptomatic, but you've always had a prolapse, and it's very common in vaginal birth, and it's something that I feel like people just don't talk about a lot. And I think it's important to break the stigma around prolapse. But because of that, it's important that I really strengthen my pelvic floor and really take the time to ensure that I can heal the way I need to, so that when I want to lift weights later or when I want to do other exercises, I have the ability to do so without putting my body in a lot of stress and without any like pain and after effects, because I want to stay and live in this body a very, very long time. And it's the only body that I have. And so I just want to make sure that like I'm taking care of it. So I'm really thinking about like the different pelvic floor exercises and core and back to make sure that like I am good. And then outside of this, I plan to see a pelvic floor specialist. When I first moved to Georgia, I found someone, but they were far. They were probably like a 45, almost 50-minute ride from my house. They also didn't take insurance and they were expensive. The lady was good, but whew, like expensive. Like she was a lot of dollars. And so I only went to one appointment and she gave me some additional exercises to do and like some things to like work on at home. And I just kind of dropped the ball. Like I didn't keep doing it. Thankfully, a lot of those issues that I was having healed. But now that I have just recently had a baby and I had another vaginal birth, like it's important for me to like invest the money and effort into it. So I will be going back to a pelvic floor specialist for a period of time, like over a period of months. And so I'm happy to update y'all on how that's going. and how prolapse is going. Because right now, like, I guess you would consider me asymptomatic, like I'm not actually showing any prolapse, but like you can maybe kind of feel that everything is not quite where it's supposed to be. And so when I go to see my OBGYN, I'm gonna have her like kind of look and see like, how would you classify my prolapse? How bad is it? All of those things. Um, so then when we get into January, the things that I'm looking forward to doing are swimming, weightlifting, and going back to my pole class and aerial hoop and aerial silk classes. So I started swimming during my last 2 months of pregnancy, and I loved it a lot. Like I swam a lot as a kid, but hadn't really, aside from like going on vacation or whatever, like don't swim as much as I probably would want to as an adult. And I just enjoyed it a lot. I also met some like really good friends. There's a few people who I noticed like are every single day, same time, same place at the pool that I was going to at the rec center. And I just really found some camaraderie with them. They always asked me how I was feeling and like knew I was pregnant and stuff. And so I definitely want to go back and like swim maybe once or twice a week, maybe in the mornings to kind of like stay in relationship with those folks because I really enjoyed meeting them and like those mornings when I would be like chit chatting with them. And then, aside from that, I want to start weightlifting again. So I started really weightlifting a lot when I was in my like mid 20s. I was going to a gym in Baltimore, and I was going religiously, and I really enjoyed the like camaraderie that I found with other folks in the gym. And I think that you can really just like transform your body very quickly and efficiently and effectively doing like heavy weights in comparison to like cardio. And so I'm looking forward to like really seeing like how I can transform my body, but also what my body can do because that's most important to me. So like how heavy can I actually lift? You know, how strong can I make my muscles? Because again, this body needs to last me a really long time, and I want to ensure that I actually have like the muscle base to continue to play with my toddler and play with my newborn and grow with them through all of their different changes and things that they're going to want me to interact and engage with them in. And then the last is the most fun, which last fall I decided to check out this pole studio not too far from my house. And when I tell y'all I loved it, I loved it. So I started doing pole classes there. I was doing aerial hoop classes as well as aerial silks, and it was just a lot of fun. It really allowed me to like embrace my sexuality, my like feminine energy, and really like just like one relive dancing because I did ballet and tap and jazz and club dance, and I was in a marching band, and like dance has been really a huge part of my life. I usually do Zumba classes, and so um, doing pole and silks and hoop got really allows you to like dance again and like really enjoy like moving your body. Also, the community was great. I've always heard horror stories of people going to like new pole studios and the people there being very cliquish and like not wanting to be in community with you and they're feeling like weird energy. And that's not the energy at this pole studio at all. Like the energy there is amazing. It's great. And so I'm really looking forward to going back consistently because again, I started like last maybe like September or October, and then got pregnant, and then basically like went for maybe like another month, like my first month of pregnancy, month and a half, I kept going, and eventually I had to stop. And so well, I didn't have to stop, but I thought it was like safest. My midwife told me it was safest for me to stop, and that's what she wanted me to do at that time, so that's what I did. And so I'm just looking forward to being back in community with those folks. And so those are things I'm looking forward to, and also hoping to like bring y'all along and like sharing in that journey with me. So this is my kind of like little postpartum update. I would say the things of my body that are feeling good. I think my body hits a toe scan, generally feels good. I don't have any like headaches, um, no real backaches. The one thing I will say, I noticed that like my traps are probably not that strong. So with my last, um, my firstborn, I didn't really experience a lot of like gas or like needing to like burp him. But with my newborn, I have to burp him constantly as we're breastfeeding in between just to take little breaks. And so, people always like, oh, just throw the baby over your shoulder. When I tell you my shoulder is in pain, pain. Okay. I don't know if my traps are just not like strong enough to support him, or if it's just like, your body goes through a lot of changes, hormonal changes in postpartum, but it's not cute. So I really need to like work on those. So those I've definitely like experienced like pain back and forth. I would say also too, because I'm nursing and breastfeeding, like I really try not to hunch over when I'm breastfeeding, but even when I'm in the most optimal position, I'm still hunching over to some extent. And so still experiencing a little bit of back pain from that. And I would say other than just like a little bit of like pelvic discomfort sometimes. So like generally day to day, I don't experience any pain in my pelvis, but sometimes if I'm like trying to walk too fast or moving too quickly, I'll experience a little bit of pain and then eventually it'll subside. But other than that, my body feels really good. And so I would say generally, like I'm looking forward to seeing what my body can do and really getting my body back in a good spot. And I'm looking forward to updating y'all next month to let you know how everything's going. So again, thanks so much for joining the channel. If you want to stay updated, please don't forget to subscribe down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please like it and send it to your friend. If you have a mom friend who's also either about to have a baby or has just recently had a baby and will enjoy, listening to this and finding some ideas of things that they can do to really like make their postpartum experience a little bit more enjoyable, please send it to them. And if you made it to the end of this video, please comment with a pink heart below. And so thanks so much for watching, everybody. I will check y'all out in my next video. Bye.